Yeah, yeah. So from Sweden rowing down to Portugal and then crossing. Yeah.
Now we won't row from Sweden.
Okay. Oh, I thought you will be rowing.
Yeah. That would be almost twice the length.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah. That's going in and out, right?
Yeah.
And then you will go through Spain first, drive through Spain, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember you're half Spanish.
Exactly. a quarter.
Oh, a quarter. Okay, but you look Spanish.
Once again.
You
Once
look
again?
Spanish. You look
Yeah.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting for a while. Just last checking. For Taufik, pick streamer udah siap?
Masuk. Udah siap, udah di YouTube udah kita on.
Okay. We'll be start for last 1 minute. So be prepared, guys.
Michi. There was also some other people who are going to talk about the mountain expedition.
Okay, is it from your team?
No, I think from your side.
Oh yeah, we will have 2 speakers today, you and then the upcoming will be our team for mountain expedition, yes.
Yes, and when will they speak?
Sorry?
When will they speak? Before or after me?
After you.
Okay.
So you will be the first, and then I will introduce the second speaker, and then there will be some space, and after that Q&A session.
Yeah.
All right, countdown started. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wah, dapat flyer.
Mau ikutan nggak? Okay, is everybody here? Okay, cool. So thank you everyone for joining us today. So we will be starting our event shortly. But before we start, I would like to remind everyone that this meeting will be recorded, and please do not share the link without prior notice. So are we sharing the slides?
Ekspedisi formation. What?
Okay, Yeah. So just to remind everybody that this meeting will be recorded, and please do not share the link without prior notice. And also I would like to invite everyone to change your name into the format. Please see the slide. So the format will be your name dash your organization or city. So for example, Michi/Nafdar or Michi/Bandung. And after that, during the speaker sessions, please kindly mute your microphone and open your camera if possible. So during the session, we will have the Q&A, and you can use raise hand feature on your Zoom and or simply drop your question into chat box. Okay, so we will have you guys to change the name format while waiting the others as well. Okay, all right, without further delay, so while we have upcoming people joining us, so this is the reminders for everyone. So yeah, let's start. Welcome to Wanadri World Campfire Series virtual event. So my name is Trisnawati Andini. You can call me Michi. I will be your host for today's session. So on behalf of organizing committee, I would like to extend our appreciation to all of you who spend your time to attend this session for your weekend. So today we will be discussing about expedition as a mission. So talking about expedition, there's so much information for everyone. But to really understand what's going on, you need to be there. But it's hard because now we are facing pandemic situation, so we cannot visit every places. We cannot just easily go to everywhere. But Wanadri, along with Nafdar, we are trying to place people inside these important stories of expedition so that everyone can share their stories, everyone can feel how the expedition looks like and how to learn more about what's the preparation behind that one. So joining with me today, we have someone, he is an adventurer from Sweden. So he has kayaked around the entire Norwegian coast without bring any food or without bring any money, with the intention to raise awareness about heavy metals and contaminants in the fish of Baltic Sea. Here, after that, he rode from Stockholm to Russia to bring up issue about gender equality. So not only having experience at the sea, but he is also staying for like 50 days in the mountain in order to raise awareness about the right public access. So the mountain is mountain of Jämtland. Other than sea and mountaineering, he is also doing cycling along Sweden coast to spread about the climate smart food. And in the upcoming month, he will do rowing across Atlantic Sea from Portugal to Antigua. So please welcome Soren Kelvis. Hi Soren, how are you?
So nice to be here.
Yes.
Thanks for the invite. Today I will be talking about my upcoming adventure, which is to row across the Atlantic Ocean. And also I will talk a little bit about the preparations I've been doing for the last 1.5 years. And also I'm hoping for a lot of questions. So I will talk about the things that you wonder about the most. This will be my 9th bigger expedition, and all of them have been taking about a year to prepare for. Some are easier, of course, and less preparation needed, and some are bigger, and then there's more preparations. But I can start to talk a little bit about the upcoming expedition. So I'm going to share my screen.
Yes, please.
And let's have a look at the boat, the rowing boat. So we can start with the rowing boat here, and here's a picture of the rowing boat. And it is an ocean rowing boat. So you, of course, you have, if you want to row an ocean, it's very good to have an ocean rowing boat, which are designed to row oceans. And it's actually the English people who are the ones who started this, all of these ocean rowing expeditions or ocean rowing trips. The first person who rowed the Atlantic Ocean rowed it in the beginning of the 20th century, about 100 years ago, a little bit more than 100 years ago.
Yeah,
They were...
Sorry,
Yes?
sorry to interrupt you, Soren. Did you share your screen already?
Yes, it should be, you should see it.
Oh, no, I don't see any.
Okay.
Okay, now it's sharing. Sorry. Okay, you can continue. Thank you.
Now you see it. So this is the ocean rowing boat. And it's actually only three places in England who builds these kinds of boats. So if you want to buy an ocean rowing boat, you have to go to England to get them. But some of them, they've been building these boats for like 20 years now, and some of them end up in weird places. So there's probably a few boats in Australia and Asia, and also a lot of boats in America. They tend to end up in strange places. But the ocean rowing boat is a boat where you're supposed to be able to live in for, some people are away for up to 6 months in these boats. So it has to be a self-sustaining boat, but quite simple anyways. So here's the rudder in the back. And you use these cords that go on the side to pull on the rudder, so you can steer the boat from within the rowing position. There's actually 3 ways to steer the boat. You can steer it with your foot, like just a foot lever. You can steer it with your hands, like you pull in the 2 cords. And you can also steer it with an electric autopilot. And that's the best way and the most preferred, because then you just set the course and the autopilot does the rest. So it's very comfortable. But then you have to have electricity, and the electrical system needs to work. You could say the other 2 systems are backup systems. And then in the boat, there's a lot of other equipment, like satellite communication equipment and VHF radio equipment, and also navigational equipment, and also positioning equipment, and of course a lot of lights as well. And we have 4 of those solar panels, which you can see on top here. So the boat generates a lot of electricity. And for fresh water, you can't bring fresh water to be out like 3 months or 6 months on the ocean. So you have to have a system to remove the salt from the seawater. And that's why we install an electric water maker in the boat. And the electric water maker pressurizes the seawater, and actually there's a very fine filter in the water maker that separates the salt from the water, so we can manufacture our own fresh water. And on a boat like this, where you're out on the ocean for 3 months, you have to have backup systems for everything. So if one system fails, you have to fall back on your backup system. And usually the big system is the whole boat with all the electricity, and everything is running on electricity. If that fails, we fall back on a smaller self-contained electronical system with the smaller solar panels. And if also that fails, we have to survive without electricity. So then we have backup system that works without electricity. So for instance, we have a manual water maker, which we can also produce fresh water if the electrical system would collapse. But I think we have a lot of backup system, and you bring everything to be self-sustained for a lot of months. And also the water you have to bring all. So you put in like 1.5 kilo per person per day of food. And we're planning to be away for 3 months, 90 days. So that's going to be like almost 400 kilos of food we're going to bring. I can also show you guys, if we go out to Google Maps here. And we zoom out. Here's Sweden. And down here is Spain. And here you have all of Europe. We can put on satellite. Looks like this. So the boat and I are up here right now, but we're going to load the boat on a trailer. So we're going to go by car down through Europe. And we're actually going to put the boat into the water down in Portugal. So out here, you have a tip. On this tip, on this harbor here, we're going to put the boat into the water. And then we're going to start rowing from that position. And we'll go almost southwest from that position. So here, down here, we have the Canary Islands, and we're aiming for those first. And that's about 1,200 kilometers. So that's going to take us about 2 to 3 weeks to row that distance. But with a rowing boat, you never know. You always have to comply with the weather gods. So we could end up just as likely here. So we're aiming for the Canary Islands, but you have to adapt to the wind directions. But our aim is to go this direction. And then here. And then there will be 600 kilometers, 6,000 kilometers. If we look at the map, you'll see that we go first almost straight south. And that's because you have a lot of more weather conditions up here on the north of the Atlantic. and we want to avoid those. So that's why we go south first. And then we're going to cross the Atlantic right over here and end up in the these island chains. This is the West Indies of US America. So either one of these islands will do. And of course, well, also it's the weather that depends on where we end up. But we are aiming for Antigua. So here we go, small island of Antigua. So with a little luck, we're going to enter into the South Harbor here. So this is the goal 3 months later. And the most fun thing about the adventure is it's not long until it's due. So we're starting to go by car from Stockholm here on the 8th of December. And then we're probably gonna put the boat into the water around the 14th, 15th of December. It's gonna take us a week to drive down. And then we're gonna start rowing, and that's where the adventure starts. This is gonna be day 1. Probably 2 to 3 weeks to get over here to Canary Islands, and then we're probably gonna be here in March somewhere next year. So we've been working with this adventure now for 1.5 years. There's been a lot of preparations and a lot of selling, because for doing all of the adventures, you need money if you don't have it already. So if you have it already, it's very easy. You don't have to do anything almost. But if you don't have money to make your adventures, you have to sell the adventures and gather the money required to do it. And that's actually, I would say, the biggest part of any adventure, to raise the funds needed to do it. And of course, you need a place for people to follow the adventure. So I have my own webpage. It's sorenshellquist.se. If you go there, this is my platform for telling everybody about the adventure, and also, or actually it's all my adventures. But my main purpose with this webpage is not for anybody else but myself, because I think that you should mainly publish a webpage or a diary. If you write a diary, or if you write a blog, or if you write a book, do it for your own. Do it for yourself. And then if anybody else wants to read it, they're welcome. But my main purpose is to document my own adventures. And I do it here on my webpage. So under blog here, I posted up all my adventures, my earlier adventures, and also my next one. And if we take like my first adventure where I paddled the Norwegian coast, so I go in here, and all my adventures start with, if we go to the bottom here, all my adventures starts with a description about the adventure. And then it starts with day 1. So there's like a diary where I post my daily experiences. So you have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, all the way to the end. And then I close up all the adventures with an epilogue, like a summary of the adventure. So description every day and a summary. And if we go to our newest one, here I have 5 posts already. So it's a little bit about the description of the adventure. This has been such a long preparations. So it's been kind of different stages in the process. But it's actually my first post about the rowing the Atlantic adventure was I needed to find a partner. So I was actually putting out a poster looking for a partner to row the Atlantic. So this post is about searching for a rowing partner. The next post is rowing partner found. So I can go in here. So here I found my rowing partner. His name is Måns Kempe. So it's actually an old friend of mine. So we're gonna row together during this adventure. And next post is the description about the adventure. The 4th post is announcing who my communication partner is going to be. Because all of my adventures, I do them with an educational theme. So I do the adventures and I know that X amount of people is going to read about this adventure. That's a perfect time for me to also educate them in a subject that I burn for. So it's up to me to choose my subject, and in every post I put a little bit education about my subject. So I kind of remake my adventures into educational platforms as well. And also when I talk to media, I can also share this passion or this subject I want to raise awareness about. And also it's good because it's easier for me to sell to my sponsors if I don't only do the adventures because it's fun. I also do it because I'm sharing knowledge about a cause. And for every adventure, I sell different sponsor positions, but I only have one communication partner, which I collaborate with for that adventure. So I differentiate between sponsorship partners and communication partners. Because the communication partner is the partner who has the best knowledge about the subject that I'm gonna spread words about. And this adventure, rowing the Atlantic, we're actually gonna raise awareness about the only Swedish whale. It looks like this. It's the world's smallest whale, and it lives in the Baltic Sea. Show you right quick. Here's the Baltic Sea. It's an inlet sea in Sweden here. And here we have one whale only. It's the world's smallest whale. It's smaller than a dolphin, actually. And it's critically endangered. There's less than 300 left in the world. So they're about to face extinction. And the people that knows the most about this one is an organization trying to save this whale. So that organization is going to be our communication partner. So it's for every, so it's quite very, very useful for me to collaborate with the organization who has the best knowledge, because then I can take their knowledge and spread that and use that during the adventure phase. So first I decide the cause for the adventure, and then I find the communication partner for the adventure. And then I can start selling the adventure to sponsor partners. Let's see what the last post was. And this was a test trip we made from Stockholm. We have done 2 test trips, me and Måns. So this is Stockholm here. So we have rowed the rowing boat from Stockholm to Visby, this island out here. So it's about 2 days rowing to get to this island. And we also rowed to this island here. And this is about a 1-day rowing trip. So last summer we rowed this distance back and forth, and this summer we rowed this distance back and forth. Because it's very good to test everything and to get to know your rowing partner, because that's usually the most difficult thing with every expedition, I think, is the persons you are doing the expeditions with. It has to be a good match. You have to kind of click with that person. Otherwise, it's going to be a horrible trip, probably. And this is the second rowing expedition I'm going to do now, because 2 years ago I rowed from up here I rowed across the Baltic Sea, which is this distance. And even Stockholm, where I live, is cold. We have harsh winters here, but up here it's winter even in the summertime. So we started rowing from here, and then we rowed up here, and this is winter all year round. Of course, it never melts. Yeah, look, you have Greenland here, and it's more south. And then we rowed up here, and we rowed across this. We circumnavigated this island. So that's my last rowing adventure. So I think I have some knowledge of rowing already. And here's and up here you have polar bears, and you have icebergs and stuff like that. And here you have to sleep with the rifle because of the polar bears. And you have walruses. So it's quite often the walruses are swimming alongside the rowing boat. And we saw whales, big whales like blue whale and the humpback whales and the cascalot whale. We saw them like 2 to 3 times every day. So it was kind of amazing. And this was how it looked like when we were rowing. Jagged mountains and glaciers and icebergs in the water. And unfortunately I broke my finger out on the Barents Sea. So that was hurting like crazy. But we have a lot of medications with us as well. And the fishing is crazy. So I'm also going to do a lot of fishing on the Atlantic. So I'm hoping to, even if we run out of food, I'm quite sure that we can catch fish as well. And here's 3 whales circumnavigating the boat for half an hour. Also a magical moment. And this is how you take a ship. Okay, shall we change to questions?
Okay, so
Michi?
yeah. Okay, thank you so much for your explanation. That is very detailed. To be honest, this is my first time to see the rowing boats from the picture. And just, yeah, so before we move to the Q&A, we will have that different session. So I would like to say thank you first for your presentation. And just to remind everyone that just joined, that upcoming months, Soren, so he is from Sweden, he will do a rowing from from Portugal to Antigua. So as we can see from his explanation that he will start to drive a car and then put the boat then he will starting to row for 2 to 3 weeks with the distance of 1,200 kilometers. And then in the next 3 months, he will reach the Antigua with the distance for 6,000 kilometers. He will go together with his friend, Mons Camphe. Is that correct?
Yes.
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 It's such a good journey to go with best friend, right? And yeah, so Soren, before we move to the Q&A, I would like to invite our next speaker. So he is a former vice chairman of Wanadri. So from the sea, we will hear the next stories about mountain expedition. So he actually has interest on whitewater expeditions. So his achievement approved with the Saluuro Whitewater Expedition in 2016, and then continue as a head of Festival Puncak Papua. So this project is actually a collaboration between Wanadri and Indonesia Teaching Movement, or well known as Indonesia Mengajar in Indonesia. And this project is a series of activities in collaboration to show and do the pioneering activities to Yamin Peak, as well as living in border area of Papua. And by the end of the project, we are doing more show to the society in one of the festival. So let's invite our next speaker, Zaki Tirta.
Okay, thank you, Michi. Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Yeah, hello, Soren. Nice to meet you. Okay, so first of all, I want to appreciate all of you to be here on Friday night, discussing something different, while maybe everybody out there is just hanging out with a friend. So I really appreciate everyone who is here tonight. What I'm going to talk about is I'm going to tell you a story about a Mount Yamin expedition. So the topic of discussion tonight is we want to talk about an expedition for a mission. And I've joined about 3 expeditions, not as much as you, Soren, but every expedition is very meaningful to me. Each one of expedition teach me a different lesson, and this one is very, very meaningful for me because this is the first time after about 20 years Wanadri has ever gone to Papua, and this is the first time we held an expedition in Papua. So ammonia main expedition. It's located in Bime, Pegunungan Bintang Regency, and Papua. Talking about Papua, it's always interesting. The Papua, it provide many challenge. It provide many curiosity for us to wonder. How could we just ignore it? It is the biggest island in Indonesia that's full of mysteries and exoticism that has its charm for all of us. I'm sure everyone here maybe only know the Papua from the media, and not every one of us has ever been there. And its charm not only influenced us as an Indonesian people, but it also influenced many foreign people around the world. Many expeditions have done by foreign people and our people that have proposed to reveal the mysteries of the unmanned land since 19th century. And from the stories, we learn that the struggles through terra incognita always need sacrifices, but it also proportional with experiences and the lesson learned. During the eras, information about Papua are more massive and diverse. Stories from media and people who have been there about the positive and negative things in Papua have successfully awakened a determination and intention of a youngster from Wanadri and Indonesia Mengajar to create a program in Papua. We want to know, how is the sense of Papua? How does it feel to be there? How does it feel to live there? How is it nature? How's the people? And that intention encouraged us to organize a program called Festival Puncak Papua. What we believe is, if we interact, dedicate, and take a real actions for Papua based on our capabilities, it will be worthier than just sit here discussing and thinking about problems that beyond our eyes. Yeah, I'm sure all of us know about many news here in Papua, but how could we know the real situation if we're not there, right? So the programs we initiate to analyze a small part of Papua, take a tiny bit experiences to share to all of our brothers and sisters in Indonesia and also the world. We believe that if this pure intention transmitted and held with the belief by many people, there will be a massive energy that can make a great change and eliminate every impossibility. We always believe that. Okay, so next, please. Our president, Mr. Joko Widodo, once said, Papua has the advantage of abundant natural wealth, but unfortunately, Papua's abundant natural wealth is like a hidden pearl. There are many challenges in Papua, such as economic disparities to development inequality. The key is collaboration to improve the economy, education, and health in rural, remote, and disadvantaged areas. So as you can see, even our government think Papua is a rural and remote area. That's also right. It's a rural and remote area, but what we want to do is we want to take a view from the real situation. We don't want to see Papua as a rural.
Sorry, I think you can unmute.
Okay. My voice sound clear?
Yes, you can continue.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So yeah, that's why we initiate this program. Okay, next. So we decided to go to East. we start from Bandung and we went to Jakarta, and we fly to Sentani or Jayapura with a commercial plane, and we continue to Bime, where the climbing starting point are by local airlines, and some of us go to Oksibil. It's a different district. It's still in Pegunungan Bintang Regency to do a live-in. And what is live-in, I'll explain later. Okay, next. Nah, this is the eastern terrace of Indonesia. That's how we name Pegunungan Bintang Regency. We have a reason why we call it the eastern terrace of Indonesia. Like I said before, if we see this regency or this area as a far location that we cannot reach, we will always feel have a limit. We will always feel have boundaries to do something. That's why we call Pegunungan Bintang Regency as Eastern Terrace of Indonesia. So we have a value that we believe that this region is still our home, and is the most eastern terrace of Indonesia, and we have to keep it solid with us. The Regency covers an area about 15,682 kilometers square with a population of around 112,000 people spread over 34 districts. One of them is Bime district, covering an area of 1,244 kilometers square, which is the starting point to climb Monyamin or Oswa Anin in the local language, and also known as Mon Lim or Gunung Lim. It's a local language of the Ketengban tribe, a local tribe of Papua in Bime. Okay, next. Now, first of all, I want to tell you about what is Festival Puncak Papua. This program is a series of activities carrying a mission to open an information space regarding the potential and local wisdom of Papua, especially the Pegunungan Bintang Regency, by forming an interaction space between the public society and local ecosystem, the human and the nature. It is a movement that invites as many people as possible to attend and be directly involved in the development of one of the outermost province in the archipelago. The general goals is to develop a new interaction by youth community collaboration in Indonesia, and to create new space of direct interaction between public and society in Pegunungan Bintang in order to develop their independent economy and village potential. And the specific goal is to develop community capacity as a candidate of nation leader, to continue the existence of adventure and education in remote area of Indonesia, to provide the open space of data and information about Monyamin, to create cultural and environmental research in Pegunungan Bintang Regency, and the last one is to provide the open space for sharing knowledge between public and society in Pegunungan Bintang Regency. So this is the goals that we set and we plan. In the beginning, we create the programs, and what activities we do in a program will be explained in the next slide. Next, please. Okay, there are three main activities or programs that we do in Festival Puncak Papua. Like Michi said before, we Wanadri and Indonesia Mengajar, we have a collaboration in this program, and we create three activities. The first one is mountaineering. It's a first ascent of Mount Yamin Peak. So 9% of mountaineering team climb Yamin Peak, which has an elevation of 4,569 meter above sea level, with the starting point located in Bime at elevation of 1,400 meter above sea level. And to reach the top, team need to do Path Pioneer, or that's why it's called first ascent. There is no track to the top or the peak, and so we have to open it for about 29 kilometers in 11 days. 14 of local people from Ketengban and Ngalum tribe were involved to help them. The second program is Live In. It's living together with local people in 7 villages. The main ideas why we held this program is how could you know about Papua and its people if you have never set foot and lived there even for a moment. So in this program, we invited anyone who wants to know more about the land in the Far East to live with local people to join us as a volunteers. Activities we do many things, such as education, health, nature pharmacy, cultivation, socio-anthropological, socio-economic, and environmental data collection, and also documentation. And the last one is festival. We're having a festival called All About Papua Festival that was held in Jakarta with objective to share knowledge and about nature and culture of Papua to the public. This event was also involving volunteers from Jakarta, and we also have many activities held on the festival. We create a forum for sharing mountaineering expedition and live in to a wider audience, and we also provide a various platform that involve the public in creating learning media for children in the Pegunungan Bintang Regency, and an interactive game involving volunteers and the public to get to know the local wisdom of Papua, also a photo gallery and multimedia. Okay, next. Okay, in this session, I want to talk more about the Yamin expedition. So here is the list of 5 highest mountains in Indonesia. The first one is Mount Kartens, and then Mount Mandala, or also known as Juliana Top, Mount Trikora, also known as Wilhelmina Top, Mount Ngga Plinsit, also known as Edinburgh, and the 5th one is Mount Yamin, or Prince Hendrik Top. Why Mount Yamin? Among the others, why we choose Mount Yamin to be the destination of our expedition. Next. Because no one has ever reached its peak before. In Wanadri, my family in Wanadri, the former members, my brothers, my sister, my seniors, always taught us to be a pioneer, to start something new, to be the first one. Why? Because if we believe if we be the one to start, we will get something that no one has ever got before. And that belief we keep in our heart and mind. To everything we do, we have to be a pioneer. And pioneering is not about only going as the first to reach the mountain peak, or rafting in a first descent whitewater expedition. It's not only about that, but it's much more. It's about a method, a way do you deliver the message. And Mount Yamin here we choose because among the others peak in Papua, Mount Yamin is one peak that never has been reached by everyone before. Next. From articles that I read in International Mountain Guides website, it's in January 2018, they having an attempt to climb Yamin Peak. They also involve a local guide from Indonesia, and like as you can read, this is what Stephen said in his article. This photo shows the closest we reached to the mountain since delay caused by tribal issues, weather, and much harder terrain than expected in the approachment that we didn't summit. In January back then, we already set the plan to climb Yamin Mountain. And in January, we initiate a program maybe around September or October in 2017. And in January, Stephen and his friends tried to climb Mount Yamin. And unfortunately, they didn't make it. it made us very enlightened and burn to reach Yamin. And Stephen here, he's not going on foot, yeah. He departed from Dekai using a helicopter and landed in a plateau or an area near its peak, Yamin Peak, that has an elevation about 3,500 meter above sea level. So it's nearly about 1,000 to a peak, and he still didn't make it. That's why we're really triggered to do this expedition. And not just that, we want to spread all what we got, the knowledge, the experience, to share and tell to everyone. That's why we ask Indonesia Mengajar to collaborate with us, because we think we can do more than just a climb, and a concern to education, economic, and a culture in Papua. So we try to collaborate this into a program, like I said before, Festival Puncak Papua. So based on this article, and yeah, and any data and information we collect, we never hear anyone has ever reached the top of Moniamin. So next. That's why it's interesting, because for us, it is terra incognita. What is terra incognita? Terra incognita is a phrase to represent the unknown or unexplored territory. This phrase is very familiar in our organization, and many of our former members always talk about this. Every time we hear a terra incognita, our curiosity is triggered, and we really want to explore an area like this. There's no one ever been there. There's no many data and information, no journal, no books, no news. That's why we want to go there to explore. So Moniamin is terra incognita. That's why we want to get there. Next. Okay. Can you back, please? I want to show you a video about a Moniamin expedition, because I think it will be better if everyone here see by his eye how we reach the Yamin Peak. And the video is not long, it's only about 4 minutes. So can I start screen sharing, please? Okay, thank you. Yeah. Does my screen already appears?
Yes, it's
Okay.
appeared.
Actually, we already created and made a movies, a documentary movies for about 40-minute longs in YouTube. You can see the full movies there, but for our presentation, let's just see a resume. This video text and subtitle is on Bahasa, so I'm sorry, Soren. We can discuss later, but maybe we can see.
Can you higher the volume?
Can you hear the sound of the video, Michi?
No, I didn't hear anything.
No?
Still not. Not sure with others.
Can you hear the sound, Soren?
Zaki,
Yeah?
I'm sorry. Maybe you can stop the sharing and share again, and don't forget to checklist the checkbox to share the audio on your set screen option.
Oh, okay. Let me try again.
Yeah. Please sharing the screen and take the share audio. Did you
There's
see the
not
option?
there is not option for sharing audio. So still no sound, yeah?
Yeah. Okay, so here we cannot hear the sound, but as you can see here, the video showing us how Wanadri interact with the local people in Papua, and they are starting to enter the jungle. And this is the local porter that help us to communicate with the team who are staying in the local village. Okay. And yeah, this is the river,
Yeah,
Kalinami.
there's many river there. Our team has to cross river and forest, and the forest is very interesting. It has a diverse vegetation, many varieties of plants and moss, also ferns. And after beyond 5,000 meter above sea level, it only rocks and bushes.
Kazaki,
Yes.
are you able to see a box's screen when you click to share screen? There is like a big box there in a checkbox on your left side, or not appear at all.
No, I can't see anything.
Okay, so
Wait. Okay.
okay, nice.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's okay for us to repeat. It's just a 4 minutes video, so then everyone can feel the sensation of the expedition.
Oh, okay. It's
We
okay.
are sorry for the technical issue there, but
Yeah. Let's start again. Okay. Let's start from the beginning.
thank you.
Oleh Tuhan sudah lepas.
Iyo dirbe kobe
telah dilepas dengan baik oleh masyarakat.
dirbing kobo na dirbe nunpe kona iya dirbe kobo
Bisai
lim bisa ko akaranya reda oke kan mang apo gisore nunu ke debe para apo bisa gisore ke debe.
Sehat selalu, semangat, pantang menyerah. Semangat.
Di sebelah timur kita nampaknya untuk puncak Yamin itu
Ya dop me pio bra nyampe jalap kami mau. Oh di raya dop me pio bra nyampe jalap kami.
Jerat TV ya, jerat ke bawahnya.
kesehatan, tetap jaga kondisi, stamina, dan semangatnya. Berdoa dipersilahkan. Wanadri.
Informasi dari tim leading 200 meter lagi akan mencapai puncak dan sudah A1, tinggal tunggu lagi informasi sekitar 1 jam.
Nah, sudah sampai di puncak Yamin.
Ekspedisi puncak Yamin.
Okay, so that was the trailer video we create before we release the documentary, and I hope it can deliver a sense and how does the team feel when we try to reach Yamin top. And can we go back to PowerPoint, please? Yeah. So after we have finished the expedition and we get what we planned, we always remember what said by our first president. Sukarno once said, the result of the expedition need to be known by the Indonesian society today, the coming generations, and also the world, so that the ability of the Indonesian nation is widely known. The result of the expeditions are important elements for nation building and character building, so they need to be written. May God bless and be with all of these efforts. So then what did we make next? Yeah, every information, every experience we had when we are in Papua, we try to produce it into some products that anyone can watch, can read, and can learn from what we got. In Yamin Expedition, there's so much we get. We create an infographic about what we got in Yamin, and it is so many things. We also found a fossil of seas animal in Yamin Peaks, and maybe it can lead to a more advanced research or journal. And we also create a book. Next. That consists into two parts. Part one, we talk about the live-in experience from volunteers and 100 members who live in seven village in Pegunungan Bintang Regency. And the second one, part two, is about the mountaineering, the climbing story about Mount Yamin. This book is not already published. We still doing things with the books, but I hope we can publish this really soon, maybe next year, I hope. And here in the participants of this Zoom meeting, I also see many of our team, Kang Iwan, Kang Raihan, and much more. And in discussion, I hope my team can tell more about the expedition, because I was not there too. I was head of the project, so I have to deal with non-technical things and funding and everything. So I haven't got the opportunity to see Yamin by my eyes, but I really want to go there. And I hope through this book, everyone of our friends or brothers and sisters can also get the same knowledge with us. And I hope all of you read, all of you learn, all of you hear, and all encourage all of you to do something. I always encourage my brothers and sisters in Wanadri, or anyone, my friends, or anyone to do something with our own capabilities and capacities. We, Wanadri and Soren here, because we are an outdoor enthusiast, we do something by traveling, by exploring, by having an expedition. But that's not the only thing you can do. You can be a teacher, you can be a photographer, you can be an anthropologist, and anything or anyone. But I believe that every one of us can do something in everywhere. So next, please. And I believe some of you here maybe is the same, are on a mission, on a preparation for something, for an expedition or anything. So I have a message for all of you. To everyone who is in the middle of struggling right now, just keep going on. Feel every process deeply. Rise in desire, drown in sorrow, bloom in love, rage in anger, overwhelm in anxiety, believe in faith, until the will of the universe give the answer. Trust me, it always feels too soon to finish in the end. We'll only be able to see the value of a journey when it's over, not at the beginning, not now. So maybe that's all I can say about and tell you the story about the Mount Yamin expedition. And we are really open to any discussion, because we also have something we found in our expedition that is interesting to talk about and to develop into some journal and research. So to anyone here who is interested in Mount Yamin and also Papua and everything, you can directly contact us, not just in this meeting. And last but not least, next please. long live the pioneers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Zaki Tirta, for the explanation, sharing stories about the Yamin expedition. So I can hear two different expedition here. So for those who just joining in the middle, just a quick recap. So the first session we have Soren from Sweden explaining about his upcoming expedition, which is rowing from Portugal to Antigua. And then in the second session, we can hear together and see the videos on how Wanadri did their expedition after past 20 years in Papua. So why Papua? As explained before, along with our president said that Papua has its own challenge in terms of economic, education, health, and our mission, because now we are talking about expedition as a mission. So our mission there is to explore and learn a lot of things about that and to be shared with other people within our country and also other country, because as we can see here, the access to get there is not easy. So I believe, Soren, also you have been there, right? I mean, you visit Papua before, isn't it? Oh, sorry, can you unmute? Okay, nice.
Yes, I've been paddling in Misol with Trio.
Okay,
but
nice
I haven't been to Papua.
Okay, so yeah, now we already hear stories from Soren and then expedition from Zaki. We will going to Q&A session. So I have some questions in our chat box, but before we move to that question, let me ask question. So this question for Soren, I heard that you prepare 1.5 years to do the 3 months rowing expedition, and Zaki as well prepare for like 1 to 2 years only for 11 days of hiking to the peak of Yamin. So what are the challenges that you are encountered during the preparation of your upcoming expedition?
Well, you can differentiate them into different categories. There's the learning platform. So that's one. You want to spread your cause. Also, it's very good for your own motivation to do the adventure more than your own satisfaction. So that's one part of it, to get the educational platform or the cause. The other one is to get funding, and that can be quite tedious and take up a lot of space. And the third one, I would say, is all the practical questions, like getting all the equipment and getting all the stuff working, and also another category is training. So you have to have the knowledge to use all of this stuff, and to, like climbing, if you climb a mountain, or so you have to have the knowledge as well, and train with the equipment and with under the right circumstances. So you should train in similar conditions. And another category is the team building thing, because you have to collaborate and work in a team. So the team building and all the team collaboration has to work, and you also have to train on that. And then you have to train your own body as well. So you have to train, you have to gain the muscles or the fat. For some expeditions, you have to gain fat as well. So you have to train your own body. And an equally big part is that you have to train your mind. Because I think with all the expeditions, the hardest thing is to conquer your own mind, to be able to live with your own mind during harsh conditions with your team members. So if it's one thing you should focus on is it's your mind. You have to have a good mental condition. And if any of those fails, well, it's probably going to lead to a failed expedition. So there's a lot of preparations, and the more prepared you are, the more luck you gain. So it's a famous Swedish saying: "The more I train, the more lucky I get."
Okay. So yeah, that's answer my question very much. And then yeah, so thank you, Soren. Before I move to the audience, I would like to announce to all participants that we are from NAFDER will give 3 prizes for those who are asking question with the raise hand feature, open their webcam, and directly speaking to the speakers. Okay. So before we move forward to that, I would like to mention one question on my chat box first. So this question for Soren. So I would like to ask a question to the first speaker. So you said that in rowing boat expedition, you done education activities. Could you please explain more about the education activities that you have conducted there during the expedition? Like what kind of the activities? I know the mission for upcoming expedition is to save Baltic porpoise, isn't it? So
yes.
Maybe you can explore more about the education activities.
Yes. So for one part is to just gather learning material. And that learning material we're going to put on the blog. And the communication partner, which is the organization trying to save this Baltic harbor porpoise, is also putting up that educational material. And it's free for everybody to use, like schools, for example. But then during the expedition, we put up a daily post. Yeah, and in the daily post, we also put a piece of the educational material in it. And also we are doing a petition to gather signatures to save the Baltic porpoise. So what we're trying to do is just raise awareness, raise the educational knowledge, and also doing a petition and collecting an educational kind of material for everybody to use freely.
Okay, thank you, Soren. So that question coming from Asmaul Husna from Gemapita Jember. So what Soren explained that you can see later on, he will post daily about what kind of things that he will get from his expedition. And also he has his webpage, which contains all the diaries and then all the materials that we can use for sharing to people about the education on his activities. Okay, so move to this. Okay, I will start with the raise hand feature now. I have Muhammad Rafi Naufal. So yeah, please unmute and you can address which speaker do you want to ask for.
Okay, check. Do you hear my sound?
Clear. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I have a question to both speakers. Firstly, I want to say I feel so astonished with all the explanations from Soren and Zaki Tirta, but the dangerous exploration. But one thing I can ask about the exploration, the expedition is there any of you who have life insurance to guarantee when something bad happen in your journey, like Soren, you try to conquer the Atlantic Ocean by rowing, and oh my god, that's amazing. But what will happen if something worse happened during your journey? It will have a bad impact, like yeah, you can face many dangerous things on the sea. And for the second speaker, of course you tried to conquer Mount Yamin Peak, and you did that. But you, as Indonesian people, we know that Papua is unexpected land for me. So everything can happen, and you have a family, but Zakirita and Soren have a family, have a friend, and have something special. So my question is, do you have a life insurance?
Okay.
Like, what will happen if bad things happen in your journey? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rafi, for the question. So yeah, you are asking about medical preparation. So safety come first. I will go first with Soren. Do you have life insurance for your upcoming or the past experience?
No, I do not have any life insurance. And well, if we take the first question, what happens to my family if I die? Well, in Sweden, also, you could say that my family will manage quite all right without me. So they're not dependent on my income. So if I die, she'll probably just find another husband and go on with her life. But otherwise, you can also ask for insurances when you're out on the sea. And there aren't any insurance company that are willing to insure our expedition. So they think the hazard is too big, so they're not willing to insure us. But then you also have the insurance, kind of like if we put out the distress signal, by international law, the closest ship are obliged to rescue a person in a life and threatening situation. So that's kind of an insurance. And the insurance from the insurance company, if we would have gotten one, is that they will refund our boat if it sinks. And it's just a material insurance. It's the life and death kind of thing that's more important for us. So hopefully that will answer your questions.
Yeah. Okay, so Rafi, Soren doesn't have any life insurance. So you hear the answer from him. Let's go to Zakitita. How about Yamin team? Or Festival Puncak Papua team?
Yeah, thank you, Muhammad Rafi, for asking. To answer this question, maybe my answer is the best kind of insurance in outdoor activities is your preparation and your teammates. So how well do you prepare the expedition and how compact your team are? I think it's the best insurance. But in former expedition in Yamin, we had an insurance, but not a life insurance, just a health and medical insurance, because we always think to prevent the worst to happen, not to react when the worst happens. So yeah, maybe if you talk about safety and another ideal safety of an expedition, I think maybe we should have a life insurance. But not all of us can get life insurance, right? We don't share the same background, we don't share the same capacities and anything. So maybe for an ideal situation, we should have a life insurance. But for me, the best kind of insurance is how well your preparation are and how good your teammates are. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Zaki, for the explanation. So yeah, Rafi, life insurance is important for our ideal situation. But as you can see, those both of the speakers are telling us that their preparation even longer than the expedition itself. So I believe what they prepare is we already know what was the obstacle that we will expected in our expedition. Thank you so much. So you can reach out to the admin for your prize after this. And let's move to the second question from the chat box first. From Hening from Cikarang. So she want to ask question for both speakers, Soren and Zaki. This is more to psychological things. So there will be unexpected situation that maybe you face like typhoon or unexpected weather or situation that will drive you to feel scared, hopeless, and other things that attack your psychological. So how you encourage yourself to not giving up about your expedition? Let's start with Soren.
Well, when I encountered kind of dangerous situations, it's not like you're starting to worry when it happens. You are in them. So you're reacting in the now. So usually you don't feel kind of scared, or you just act instead, because scaring and fear is something you kind of participate or see in the future. When you're in the storm, you're not scared, you're in the moment. I don't know how to explain it more than that. Because scared, I'm usually scared when I think up in an imaginary situation, but not as much when I'm in it.
Okay, yeah. So how about Zaki?
Yeah, I agree with Soren. And maybe you won't get fear if you're well prepared, if your mental was well prepared. I think, yeah, of course, there's maybe some things or some condition that might fear you or scare you out, but it's just a temporary feelings. And in the preparation, in the training, we simulate, we do things nearly like what we're gonna do. So we hope that we can already control our fear when in training and in preparation. So it's a non-technical things that you have to control within yourself and your team, because out there when you're on your expedition, there's no one can help you beside yourself, God, and your team. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, Hani, what I can recap from both speakers are, yes, the mental preparation itself, it's important before you start your expedition. And then during that unexpected situation, we have our team, we have our courage to face that in that time. Okay, so now I will move to the raise hand feature again. So live question. So I can see two here. Asmal Husna is already giving the question through the chat. So I will give you opportunity after this. Let's start with Alisar. So he is one of Wanadri members. So let's hear the question.
Check.
Yes, very clear.
Okay, thank you, Michi. Hello, Soren. Hello, Jackie.
Hello.
Nice to meet you and nice to see you this moment.
Hello, Kang Alisa. Good evening.
Likewise.
Yeah. I would like to thank for your both speaker, Soren and Jackie. And I would like to give you the 2 thumbs for your expedition and presentation. Just good presentation, both of you. I'm sure, personally, I cannot do like both of you. It's amazing journey and amazing expedition. Very interesting. Okay, I'm sure both of you, you have to prepare the expedition, a long preparation. With the strong commitment with you and the team for the preparation, that you have the success expedition. But my question is, what the impact did your expedition have on you, especially? That's all. Thanks, Soren and Jackie. Well done.
Thank you, Kang Alisar, for the question. So yeah, who's gonna start first? I think let's start with Zaki. How does the expedition impacted, especially for yourself?
Okay. Before I answer, I want to thank my former senior and brother here, Kang Alisar. Thank you for joining this meeting and asking a very principal and fundamental question to us. Because, like you said, Kang Alisar, in the end, what matter is in every expedition is what you learn, right? How you put a value in your experience and how you put that to do something bigger and much more. For me, especially personally, an expedition has created me and evolved me to be a well-managed person, an optimist, and let's say like this. In Wanadri, I don't know if with you, Soren, but in my organization, we were really heterogeneous, and so we don't share the same background of each other while doing our mission. So, like you said, making a team building is very hard, and it's very challenging. But when you share the same mission, I learned that everyone can be the same, and maybe that's what I got the most. I can see people differently. I can tolerate more about people, and I can appreciate any kindness or bad things in every people, and how we convert the bad and good things to be an energy to make things happen. So in my opinion, that's the most expensive things that I learned is about an interpersonal things. Technical things, of course, it worked. Also, it's really worth it. I learned about managerial thing, technical skill, and everything, but it fade away. We get older, our body cannot stay the same. It fade away, but mindset, a strong-willed person, and optimistic, and what we get here and here, I think it's the most expensive that I get from an expedition. And like we all know, nature is a very fair teacher. He didn't see people from our background, right? It didn't see people of where do he live, what religion, what language that he speak. But if you mess up with nature, nature will mess up with you. And that's I think what make outdoor enthusiasts, and especially who have gone through an expedition with his families, learn many things. I think that's it, Michi. And maybe you can add some answers, my friend Soren.
Yes, I totally agree with you there that being in the outdoors, being out in the nature, it's our home. It's where we come from, and if you start doing expeditions, or if you start doing long outdoor activities, it's definitely going to transform you in the core of your soul. Because when you're out on an expedition and you're outside 24/7 for several months, you kind of become one with nature, and you become one with the present moment. And that totally transforms you. But it's a really double-sided coin. So when you get back to civilization, you're gonna, or at least I, are struggling really, really hard to live a normal or a civilized way of life, to go back to work, to earn money, to do all the responsibilities that are in society. It's much, much harder to do that if you know the freedom and you know how it's like to be free in nature all the time, with no other obligations than to stay alive. So it's totally transformative. You're never the same. Well, you can't go back. So it's dangerous to go on an expedition because it's hard to live a normal life after that.
Okay, yeah, so that is the answer from Zaki and Soren. So Kang Alisar, they said that the impact to themselves itself is kind of experience that you never get in the normal life, like freedom, and then the breath after you finish the expedition, you will have more mentality to face what will happen in our life. So that kind of very expensive things that we can get from the unexpected journey. Okay, so thank you so much, Kang Alisar, for the question. Okay. I have one here, the Afrialdo Yasrul. You can share your question with Bahasa, so I can help you if you want to open mic, or you will drop your question through the chat box. Are you here? Okay, so going 3, 2, 1. Okay, I will skip that to the next question. Why should we pay attention to travel management? So I think this is the importance of the preparation. We have already answered that one, that it's to encounter all the bad things during the expedition. And yeah, I think he need more explanation on that, like why should we pay attention to travel management? The management is more important than the expedition itself. Like, can we go with Soren first?
Well, I don't really know if I understood the question, but like I always say that 80% is in the preparation. And when you take your first step or your first rowing stroke or your first paddle stroke, then 80% is finished, and then you have to complete kind of the expedition. And then when you get home, you have a decision to either work with the expedition and publish books and movies, and you can go on forever doing that, maybe for even the rest of your life. But then you have the opportunity to go to and plan your next expedition.
Okay. Zaki, any additional for that? Like how important the travel management is for you?
Yeah. Travel management, of course, very important in expedition, because it for me personally, the way we manage our expedition is not to keep everything safety, because we also know that we go to some place that's not safe, it's dangerous, but it develop a mindset and behavior to evaluate a situation, to making a decision, to adjust, to adapt. That's the most important. And it can only built by sense and experience. You cannot get it if you're not trying to train it in preparation. And the management itself, it's just for a safety net for your activities. With management, of course, you can make a more efficient and effective method, and in cost, time, effort, power, logistic, and everything. But for me, that's not the main things. By having yourself used to manage everything, you will unconsciously think about everything, and unconsciously you can evaluate and judge some situation that need a fast action and decision in a common sense. So I think that's my answer.
Okay, thank you so much. So yeah, that is very important because that is the one that we did before we start doing any activities. Okay, so I have Erwin Saputra here. So I hope you can just directly speak to the speakers. Can you unmute? And yeah, one more spot to get a prize from NAFDAR. So we'll give it to Erwin then.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. Maybe I just want to ask to Soren. Hello, Soren.
Hello.
Like, did you ever think like your journey is YOLO? Like, I mean, like your life is just once, and you do it like by yourself, finding yourself. This is your passion. I know, like, I'm listening to yourself like that. Your journey is kind of extreme for me. For me, like, oh my God, is the journey is kind of extreme, and you manage to control your fearness, like something management yourself by doing that. I mean, like, just my question is like, did you ever think your life is just only once and you finding it by yourself, no matter what happens? This is my life. I don't care, and I want to doing this journey by myself. And no matter what people say, it's my life. Did you ever think like that? Maybe just question just like that.
Yeah, so it's about motivational. Thank you, Erwin. Like, you only live once, or like, what is your reason doing these activities other than raise awareness?
In one way, you can say it's very selfish to go on an expedition because you're not going to raise as much money to the family and you're going to be away for a long time. So it's a selfish kind of thing to do. But for me, the only other option is to die, because I can't not go on expeditions. It's what I live for. So it would be like saying I'm going to commit suicide tomorrow, because I can't live that kind of life. So it's not an option. And of course, there's a lot of naysayers. People who says you can't do that, or you shouldn't do that, or you're going against the norm. And you can't surround yourself with those persons. And you also have to know that you have to listen to yourself. And also you can surround yourself with yes sayers. So go to the communities like this, what do you call it, Vanadri Foundation. You call it Vanadri?
Yes, Vanadri.
Yes. I would go to the Vanadri organization to find yes sayers, to go to people who have the same kind of beliefs and the same mentality.
Yeah, thank you. So yes, Arvin, that's answering your question, that it's YOLO journey. because, and also Soren suggests you to either join Wanadri to meet a lot of people to also live your life once time. Okay, so
Yes, and
now,
also one more thing I have
yeah, go ahead.
is live your life as it's your last year. So every year is your last year. So what you're gonna do in your last year when you're alive, because you have the mental picture that next year I'm not gonna be alive. That changes your focus a bit.
Nice advice. Thank you, Soren. So, okay, I don't have any more question on the chat box. Do I have someone who would like to ask question right away? Going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Soren, do you have any question to Zaki, or Zaki, you have question to Soren?
Yeah, I have a question for Soren. Actually, I'm very thankful for this opportunity to talk with you, Soren, because I never have an experience to share something with another outdoor enthusiast from other countries. And maybe it is just only it is only in my opinion, but I think there is a slight difference of motivation from the outdoor enthusiasts from outside Indonesia or maybe outside my organization, I don't know, and with us. You guys seem very so individual and strong, yet you're not too scared to a danger. And like Erwin said, maybe I don't know what, but I don't know, but maybe many people find danger because they need it. They need an adrenaline. They need the thrilling sensation and anything. Because in my organization, which is very safety procedure organization, we really eliminate things like that. But it is very interesting for me because that's not bad. It's really good, because maybe if we can see through your perspective, we can put a better evaluation method, a better management, and maybe we don't have to worry too much about anything. We just have to control the key point issue, right? And the key troubles. So can you tell me more about you and your friends? Are you a part of organization or not? Or if you are, how things goes there? How things work? I really want to find out, and maybe it can be fully talk in here now, but I really find another opportunity to talk with you again, and maybe you can share a bit to us, all of us, about how's the ecosystem of outdoor activity in Swedia. Thank you, Soren.
Yes, it's really a lot of fun for me as well to get to speak with another culture of explorers, because my sphere is Sweden. So mostly of the people I know and talk to is Swedish adventurers. I usually not collaborate too much with other adventures around the world. So it's a lot of fun for me too. But of course, I listen to a lot of podcasts. So I listen to a lot of interviews of other adventures around the world. And maybe I'm a little bit different, because I do the expeditions mostly because I want to be out in nature for a long time. And this is the way for me to be out in nature for a long time. But I think most of the explorers or adventurers, they do stuff to accomplish a goal. But the accomplish a goal is never my goal. My goal is to be on long periods in the nature. So the goal is kind of just something that happens in the end. And when I'm reaching the end, I'm always sorry because it's finished. So I think I have a different aspect to adventures than most of the other adventurers, because they want to reach the goal, and I'm totally I'm not. It has no meaning for me. The goal is just the end. But we, of course, we have. It would be really fun to have more of these meetings. I'm really happy to go on these meetings again.
Sure.
And also, we have these organizations in Sweden as well. We have the Boy Scouts, which are both for girls and boys, of course, but we call them the Boy Scouts. And we also have another Swedish outdoor organization in Sweden, which has practically taught me everything I know. So I think you had your mentor here before. And of course, I have my mentors in my outdoor organization as well. And they're the backbone. We wouldn't be anything without them. So we do that here as well.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Okay, so yeah, thank you, Zaki, for the question to Soren. Oh, I have one more question from Sarwo Edi. So I hope you can directly ask to the speaker.
Okay, Michi, check. Can you
I
hear
can
my
hear you.
sound?
Yes,
My
clearly.
voice.
Okay, go
Okay.
ahead.
This is not a question, but just my opinion. Soren, I am Sam. I am also a member of Wanadri. Good fall in Sweden. Am I right?
It's almost winter now.
Oh, okay. It's very interesting to hear the expedition in Papua, because since early 2000, I have already dived and rode there. This is about insurance. I always do my activity in Papua, especially in diving from north to south, like an expedition. Okay. I'm wondering, please explain to me why you don't need an insurance? Because for me, an expedition is like going to war. You have to prepare everything, okay? Because I remember the SAS motto, prepare the unprepared. Okay, you have to prepare yourself, your teammate, your training, and everything. So prepare the unprepared. And according to me, insurance is part of the expedition too. Yeah, we can't just say, if I die, my wife go with somebody else. No. I know you're kidding, man. I know you're kidding, but I'm not getting serious. But wow, because I want to join this expedition in Papua. Yeah. We know while we going to activity like sea, mountain, and everything, we going to unsafe condition, and we'll do unsafe action. So we have to prepare everything, right? And by maintaining our skill and especially safety behavior while doing our activity. Please tell me once again about insurance, because I always go with insurance. My team had insurance because while shit happen, insurance can I hope can make more easy, but it depends to everyone if she or he will go into an expedition to Papua without insurance is okay, no worries. But for me, insurance is okay.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yes.
Soren.
Okay.
Thank you, Michi, Jackie.
Thank you. So yeah, I think Soren, before addressing that, it's good to have insurance, but personally Soren doesn't have that. Okay, maybe any thoughts on this, like additional from his opinion, Soren?
Yes. Of course, there's different kinds of insurance. Like I have a house insurance and I have a car insurance, and I have a pension insurance. And also when I'm out on an expedition, I have kind of an insurance that it's a SOS insurance. So if a helicopter comes and picks me up and drops me off, the insurance will cover that. But the insurance for like the rowing boat or that the insurance, because the life insurance in Sweden is if I die, they will give my family a lot of money. But that kind of insurance my family don't need because they don't have any loans. So they don't need a big bunch of money if I die. And actually, when I'm out on my expeditions, I actually think that it's safer me being in a rowing boat on the Atlantic than everybody that's going on the highway every day back and forth to work. So I feel safer when I'm in nature than when I'm in civilization. Actually, so I remember sitting on a cliff way out in the ocean and just looking on the sky, and I knew that it's like 500 kilometers to the nearest person on the planet, and I never felt so safe in my whole life. So when I was sitting on this cliff, I probably won't get a life insurance, but some other insurances I have. And if I die, my wife will inherit everything I own, so she will still get a big chunk of money. I don't think she needs any extra from the insurance company.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Soren. So, Kang
Thank you,
Sam?
Soren.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that Soren doesn't have insurance. He do have, but different insurance other than life insurance. It's important for us, as Zaki mentioned before, advised to us that in ideal situation we should have all kind of insurance, but our background, our capacities to have that kind of thing is different. So thank you for the advice. So hopefully for those who will do expedition, you guys can have that ideal condition which you have all the insurance that you need and be safe on your journey. So, okay, one more things before we close the session, Soren. Do you have question to Zaki?
Yes. I was wondering if you're planning, what's your next expedition?
Interesting.
Okay, can I answer that now?
Yes.
For now, honestly, I haven't got anything here to do next. Maybe I want to do a whitewater expedition outside my country, maybe in your place. I don't know. Is there any good river there to to raft. I think I really interested in that, but so far I haven't got anything come across my mind. We should talk.
How easy is it to do an expedition in Indonesia with the funding and preparation and everything?
Yeah, in Indonesia, it really depends on who you are and with who you will do this expedition. Because since I'm one, I have an organization and it's well known, and I'm sure it's pretty trusted. So maybe it's always an opportunity to get sponsored, to do funding, but many of my friends out there is not having the same opportunity. And what make things really hard here is because the technical things. Indonesia is very has a wide variety of floras and faunas, and the weather, it's not the same in each region. It's health specialty, and that's a technical challenge. But overall, I think it can be trained. All technical things can be executed, but we often got problem from non-technical things like funding, finance. It's not really easy to get money in this kind of activities, right? Because we got nothing real to sell, we got nothing real to produce, but we have to share the same vision to the company or someone want to fund us, gitu. And another things like permission, it's all a trouble. Like in Papua, we merely not to climb Mount Yamin back then, because the society, especially the college student, didn't allow us. That kind of things is really provide a complexity. It's not just a heart of the mountain or the river, but a complexity in an expedition. Maybe, we should do some expedition together in Indonesia to know about this. That's my answer, Soren.
Yeah.
Soren. So as Zaki mentioned that he doesn't have idea yet for the next expedition, but here in Wanadri we do have our recent expedition, which is whitewater expedition in Aceh. We call it Krueng Woila expedition. So it's also posted in Wanadri official. So I think that is the recent activities that we have, because Yamin Peak expedition was in 2018, but in 2021 we do have that whitewater expedition. So I hope Wanadri also can have kind of rowing expedition next, maybe in the future. So okay, I don't see any more question. Do you have any additional questions, Soren, to Zaki?
No, I'm fine. Thanks.
Okay. So this will be our end of the question, and it will also the recap of our session today. I would like to just highlight some points that we have here. So first, I would like to say thanks, tack so mycket, Soren. And then I would like to mention first, next month, Soren will have his upcoming expedition, which is rowing from Portugal to Antigua. And then he already explained, he has a web page that contains the diary. It's a Sweden, but maybe you can add more feature to translate to English, because I do visit your web page and I need to translate it to English. And also, guys, you can check later on his daily update through his Instagram at Soren KGELLKVIST. Also can follow Wanadri official, Zaki Tirta, and Nafdar. And additional from Zaki is talking about mountaineering. So today we have two kind of expedition, which is at the sea and then at the mountain. That is for me. If no more question from the participant, I do really say thank you for all of us. This is our Wanadri World Campfire series, version 1. So hopefully after you finish expedition, or maybe you have anything to share, we can hold another session with more participants. So I don't expect that we have a lot of people asking question and interest to do expedition. That's all for me. Thank you so much once again for Soren, Zaki Tirta, on behalf of organizing committee from NAFDAR official and Wanadri official. Also, we would like to express our gratitude to all audience. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's all from me. I will give back to the technician. Thank you, Soren.
Thank you.
All right. Before
Thank
we
you.
end this session, all the participants can open the cam for virtual photos.
Sure. Please open your webcam so then we can take a screenshot. Okay, so I have Fadil, Jimmy in my first screen. Can you guys open your webcam? All right, so who's gonna take?
Wait. Okay, Fadil. Rizky Cahyo, can you open your cam?
Nafdar Technis 2 also. I hope everyone can open their webcam. This is the first virtual event that we have. I do really enjoy. Okay, nice.
All right. At my screen, it's about 3 pages. So the screenshot will be 3 times taken for the screenshot. Okay. 3, 2, 1 for the first page. Smile.
Okay, second page.
Second page. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Smile. All right, last page. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Smile. All right then.
Okay. So yeah, last statement from me. I would like to also apologize for the technical issue that might happen during this session. And thank you so much for spare your time for today, and enjoy your weekend. Stay safe, everyone, and good luck for your expedition, Soren.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will leave the meeting soon. Thank you.
Thanks so much, ya, Soren.
Good luck, Soren.
Thank you.
Respect.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you.
Thank you, Soren. Thank you, Michi.
Thanks, Zaki.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Good luck.
Thank you, everyone.
Welcome.
Gimana keluarnya?
Thanks, Michi.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Michi still in Malaysia, Michi.
Yes, I am.
When will you going back to Indo?
Probably next year.
Next year.
Yes.